I sort of remember liking Bad Boys 2 when I watched it way back when, but that's all I really know of this franchise. I mean, I tried watching the third a couple of times when it first came out, but it made me fall asleep every time I got about an hour into it. Maybe I should have tried to watch it again before this, but I didn't feel like it. Luckily, the fourth exposited everything I needed to know, though that definitely wasn't as prominently bad as I remember it being in the third. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm the Talking Sentient Sandwich, and surprisingly, Bad Boys Ride or Die is fun. I think I had prepared myself for a mediocre time at best, so when the cinematography popped off, my jaw was on the floor. It's not often, but there are a few moments where this movie is genuinely phenomenal. Most of it, especially the writing, is far from perfect, but past the cliches and tropes, the fun buddy cop dynamic between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, named Marcus and Mark in the movie, managed to pull it through in the end. It did drag in the middle, and the writers tried to fix that by adding a bunch of cameos, but that didn't help how boring that half hour of the movie was. Story-wise, there's not anything captivating, maybe on the level of some of the good-ish Fast and Furious movies, and yet I could see myself watching this again. Because as long as you enjoy the occasional Fast and Furious type movie, I'd say Bad Boys Ride or Die is worth checking out. But now it's time to get into the spoilers, because I can't really discuss the specifics of what didn't work in the movie without spoiling the whole thing. But the best thing to start out with a spoiler conversation is the antagonist, which is easily the weakest part of the film. Just for an example, this is the kind of movie where 5 minutes in, the narrative introduces a character that is meant to be friendly, but he's played by a big-ish named actor, and it's Mr. Fantastic from the early 2000s Fantastic Four movies, so I instantly knew he would be the twist villain. And as I mentioned before, there are a whole lot of cameos in this movie, ranging from Michael Bay turning up and making me grin to the guy on TikTok who makes a meme face. I think that second one was meant to be a joke, but it just felt off. I don't know, I guess the directors like him. But the moments in this movie that are good are so great that it really gave it a leg up and had me forgiving a lot of its flaws. In the first act, there's a scene where Marcus has a heart attack and almost dies, and it's not the vision that he has that's great. That was just a dark room with a tree. But instead, it's the way the filmmakers transition back to the real world, which is smooth and incredible, reminding me of a scene from the most recent God of War game. There's also an indoor drone shot, and usually drone shots aren't my favorite because the camera is always just moving too fast for my taste. But in this, not only did it seem slower, but it just worked. Later on, there's yet another drone shot in the third act, and it made sense to use it that time because they were using drones in the combat. And you remember this guy? Well, he gets an awesome John Wick moment where the camera weaves in and out of different monitors being viewed by Marcus and Mark, who were watching bewildered. And I don't know why, but in that whole sequence, I just couldn't stop smiling. And I think that's really where the movie shines. Most of the time, it's not actually funny, though it does try to be, but instead, it's just fun. The characters are fun, the action is fun, the editing is fun, and that all added to an enjoyable experience. But what did you think of the newest Bad Boys movie? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly video essays and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.